In a surprising turn of events, the former president took the stage in the courtroom, defying earlier restrictions. He used this unexpected opportunity to accuse the city's attorney general of harboring personal grudges against him before confidently exiting the courtroom, dismissing the entire case as a sham to the eager reporters waiting outside. But here's the twist: Mr. Trump seems to be turning his court appearances into something more than legal battles. He's treating them as if they were campaign events, seamlessly blending his defense with his aspirations for re-election in the unique and intense landscape of the 2024 presidential race. While his legal challenges are widespread, according to him, they are all part of a grand plan orchestrated by his political opponents to thwart his chances of winning the 2024 election. Fresh off a court appearance in Washington, Mr. Trump's presence in New York is just the latest episode in his legal saga. As his fellow Republican contenders traverse Iowa ahead of the first voting contest, he claims to be unfairly pulled away from the campaign trail by the judiciary. In fundraising emails to his supporters, he bemoans being forced into courtrooms for what he calls phony witch hunts. However, the reality is that he chose to attend these hearings, convinced that each appearance gives his campaign a substantial boost. And guess what? He might be onto something. The Republican frontrunner has managed to turn his legal troubles into a political asset. At rallies, press conferences, and in messages to voters, he portrays himself as a victim of politically motivated prosecutions, not just targeting him but also the 50% of America that supports him. It's a narrative that resonates: they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just standing in their way. Remarkably, the 91 criminal charges against him, which would have sunk any other candidate, have become a rallying point for his base. His campaign has gained a renewed sense of purpose, ensuring a steady flow of funds for the upcoming election. This strategy kicked into gear last April with the first criminal indictment in New York. Fundraising emails flooded in within minutes of news breaking about hush money payments to Stormy Daniels, raising over $4 million in just 24 hours. His legal troubles seem to have a direct correlation with campaign funding. The second indictment in June, related to mishandling classified documents, brought in a reported $6.6 million in a matter of days. Even his arrest in August, charged with plotting to overturn the state's 2020 election results, was turned into a spectacle. The campaign orchestrated live broadcasts of his every move, including that iconic mugshot taken in Atlanta. Speaking in Washington, he claimed the prosecutions were driven by his lead in the polls against President Biden. He warned of potential bedlam if these cases prevented his re-election. The White House, on the other hand, is on the counteroffensive. President Biden, in his first major speech of the year, highlighted the perceived threat Mr. Trump poses to American democracy, especially invoking the events of January 6. But in Trump's world, Biden is painted as the true destroyer of democracy. The narrative is strong, but the mood, particularly among independents, might shift once the trials commence. The pivotal case related to January 6 could prove challenging for the former president. Detailed evidence could expose attempts to cling to power post-2020 election loss. Polls suggest a conviction could be a significant political disadvantage. Yet, Trump has a strategy for that too: delay, delay, and delay. He aims to push the trials beyond the November 5 election, with the hope of a triumphant return to the Oval Office. If successful, he might instruct his Justice Department to drop the cases or, in a dramatic twist, consider pardoning himself.